Hey fellas, Meat Trapper here. We're gonna do a little river trapping today. It's good to be out on the river, even if it is a little bit warm. It's beats a day in the office, that's for sure. But I'm right here at the put in and ready to get on down the river. And I hadn't gone, I guess, 50 yards, and I found a nice little spot where the beaver had been working. So I decided to put a snare set in, and let me show you what I did here. Alright, it's a pretty simple set. I've got my snare, and you can see it's suspended up out of the water a little bit. Now this is something new I'm trying this year. That's a piece of sponge, and I've got the lure that I dipped it in the lure there, and today I'm using a Damodam, Fox Hollow's Damodam. That's a great lure, I really enjoy it. But I wanted something that would soak up and hold lure like a sponge. So I finally got the bright idea to use a sponge. So we're going to see how that works. Hopefully, if I don't make a catch, I can throw that in a baggie and reuse it, because it's still going to smell like a beaver lure. Whereas if I had just run the lure on the stick, I wouldn't be able to carry that whole stick back, or it wouldn't make much sense to. But with the sponge, I'm hoping to be able to reuse if I don't make a catch. And that just comes over, and I've got an earth anchor driven down in the mud on the bank. And here's how I hang the snare, and I'm taking advantage of this log right here. All I've done is put 2 fence staples in, link the number 9 support wire, another fence staple that I clip my snare to, hang the snare, put the lure, and then repeat it down there. Very quick, very simple. This will stay here until I need to use it next time. You can see what I've got is 2 fence staples. Pounded those in, linked the number 9 support wire. That supports the snare. The snare is under the log. I've got a little bit of fence in there. And then what I've done is I've taken my sponge, dipped it in the Damodam, and you can see how effective that is at smearing that lure. Very economical way to use your lure. You can see that just is saturating that. And I'll leave that there for good measure. This is what we're looking at. Just got a down tree here. You could make any number of these sets all up and down through here. And once you get them swimming under here, I mean, in this one area, I could easily set 3 or 4 snares right in here. I'm running out of daylight. So simple. And what we're looking at here is a caster mound set, just like any other. And basically what I did is I came in and I covered up the existing caster mound with mud of my own, because that's what a beaver will do when he's going to claim territory. He's going to come in and he's going to cover up the other guy's stuff, and he's going to put mud on top of it, and then he's going to put his own caster down on top of it. So that's exactly what I did. Now there were 3 distinct areas where they were coming in or leaving the water. So I put a snare in front of each one. That's the great thing about snares. They're cheap, simple, they're fast. Now, this is public area, so if I had put a TS-85 there, that would have been about $100 worth of hardware at one set. If somebody come along and found that and decided to rob me, that would hurt. This, my snares, maybe 50 cents, 70 cents a piece. Somebody can come along and steal all of that, and I'm out $2 or $3. Big difference. So if it's good enough for 1, it's good enough for 2, but if the sign tells you there's 3 places, put 3 snares. They're cheap. Alright, let's get on down the river. And what a beautiful winter day it is. High rocky bluff across there, and I am just paddling down in the old kayak and setting them up as I see them. Hard to think of a better way to spend your day, you know? Morning, fellas. Back here on my check and on my river snaring, and I'm right here at the put in, the first set that I made, and I got one. When I first paddled up, he was up on the bank sitting nice and still, nice and dry, and of course before I could get the camera out, he decided to make a run for it and hit the water. But it looks like it's going to be a good day. When you come out and you make your first check and you got one at the first check, that's always a good sign. The rain moved in a little earlier than expected. We got a little break right now, but it was raining pretty good on the way over here, so I've got to get these snares checked and pulled. This river is going to get big once that water comes down, so let's get started. Let's take a look here. There we go. Well, I checked a few more sets and I didn't have anything. I had a couple of snare loops pulled down, which is always disappointing. We're right up ahead at our caster mound set. We got us one. Right there. All right, there he is. He fills up the back compartment on that boat pretty good. Now this was the caster mound set that I had the 3 snares. He was caught on the farmost snare, which interestingly enough was the one that had the least amount of fencing. I've recovered the other 2 snares that were on this side of it, and he was caught right down there. So there's a good lesson to be learned there. Once again, if you can catch them without trying to force them or fence them, that's the best way to do it. But the other lesson to be learned is the gang setting works. If I had come up here and I had put 1 snare, I probably would not have that beaver. But since I decided to just gang set all the way down, I looked, there was an entrance and exit there, one here, and one over here. Set each one of them, and I got him. So anyway, it's turning out to be a pretty good morning. I've had a few misses, but that's to be expected. The rain is starting to come in, and it's time to get on down the river here. Well, fellas, the day is drawing to a close. Another day, another beautiful day, and I'm thankful for it. Thankful for everything about it. This is just this is the way life was meant to be. At least mine, that's for sure. We're coming up on Christmas time. We have to remember what's truly important in life. We have to remember what God's given us. We have to be thankful for it. It's not a bunch of presents. It's not a bunch of made in China crap. It's not a bunch of parties. So just keep that in mind. It's easy to get caught up in all of the high stress, high pressure world out there. Those people are lost.